أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome on Youth Matters with me, your host, Sakina Habib. I would like to extend my heartiest felicitations to you all on the auspicious occasion of the birth anniversary of our second Imam, Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam. Yes, today's episode is all about celebrating. But before we continue to celebrate, I want to ask you a very important question. As you know, we all get super excited and hyper when Ramadan starts, and we become so conscious about our fastings, about our salahs, our worship, our charity, family, community, and other deeds and commitments. Do we really take care of our mental health as well? Meaning not overdoing stuff just because everybody else is doing it or because it is imposed to do so. Yes, it is a very valid question. And I think most of us forget the actual essence of this holy month by engrossing ourselves in extra activities and extra stuff while forgetting the actual purpose of this holy month. That's why I will be joined by the Muslim counselor, registered psychotherapist, Sister Barak Hussain, to talk us out on this crucial topic, highlighting a few key tips. Then, as for the exciting bit, I will be joined by the very well-known reciter, Brother Ali Riza Taimuri, also known as Alight.me. If you've all been watching his latest recitations on YouTube and Spotify, you know, to enlighten this episode with some amazing live recitations in 2 different languages. Isn't that amazing? So we can't wait to hear it. And to top it all off, we will be having some interesting quiz questions as we converse to add to your knowledge. So stay tuned throughout this episode. We've kept these quiz questions in between so that you don't get bored or anything, okay? So without much further ado, let us welcome our guests for today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome to On Youth Matters.
Alaikum assalam. Shahr Ramadan Mubarak.
Salam.
Ramadan Mubarak and also a Khushali Mubarak to all of you, both of you. We're celebrating Imam Hassan's Wiladat today, and I think it is indeed a day of rejoice and celebration. And that is why we will be having a very nice celebratory program today, inshallah. As I mentioned, that first we will be talking a little about mental health, and I'll request Sister Barak to answer 1-2 questions, inshallah. Sister Barak, can you tell us why is mental health supposed to be given much more importance in Ramadan?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Again, Shahr Ramadan Mubarak to everybody. And Mabruk, the Wiladat of our beloved Imam Al-Hasan alayhi salam. So mental health is important all year round, of course. But during this holy month, there's an emphasis on how we're eating and what we're eating. A lot of emphasis on our activity level. And of course, I'm talking from a mental health perspective as well, specifically rather, and looking at how our energy levels is in terms of whether it's ibadah, lack of exercise, the minimum amount of food that we're putting in our bodies, obviously none during the day, and then later at night, depends on your lifestyle, how much you put into your body. So it's really important, again, just like we talk about mental health balance throughout the year, to have a healthy balance throughout the holy month, and keeping in mind creating a healthy routine that you don't just start right away. I know we're halfway through, alhamdulillah, now, but it's never too late to kind of create a healthy balance of routine, especially keeping up exercise, watching what you eat, making sure you're getting enough hydration, and so on and so forth. So during the year, we keep that balance and keep it even more now because there's going to be that lack of hydration. Your energy levels are obviously very different. Some people say they can actually focus better during the day because they're not distracted by food and having to go to the bathroom or so on and so forth, but they're definitely thinking about what they want to eat, right? So it's truly important to continue that and create a healthy routine where you're trying to get components in but doing it with compassion and not pushing yourself so hard, because it can be so challenging. I mean, if you're a student, you've got studies. If you're working, you still have to get up if you're living in the West at the same time to go to work, and other commitments as well. It can be hectic. As you said, we can get very excited, looking forward to the holy month, what it means in terms of connecting with the community and people. We also have to not forget the spiritual aspect of what this holy month is all about. People tend to focus on, food preparations, decorating the house. I was making fun of people, and I do it myself in terms of getting these things, the chocolate covered dates. We're so busy decorating the house and getting chocolate covered dates than focusing on what this holy month is all about. So
Yeah,
putting things
indeed.
into perspective, I think it's important. Yeah.
Totally agreed. We really divert ourselves into other extra things, and sometimes it happens that when we approach the main nights in this holy month of Ramadan. I mean, I've personally experienced this, and I'm sure others would relate to me as well. That then we get exhausted, get tired. When that's the time
Yeah.
when we really need to recharge ourselves and have that energy, to involve ourselves, engage ourselves in that spiritual aspect and activity. And I think that is such an important point.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, that's one thing that I wanted to add. Now, as a psychotherapist, what general guidelines would you suggest to balance one's mental health?
So it's important, just again, throughout the year, having that balance with your eating, sleeping, exercise, and spirituality, connections with people. Same thing during this month, I would say. But paying special attention to the things that we're supposed to be doing more this month to take advantage of when it comes to ibadah, spirituality. And a lot of people may stop going to the gym or may find it very hard to exercise. So you've got to find the optimal time, what works for your schedule. Is it before iftar? I'm the before iftar crowd, and then there's people after iftar. Ali Raza, where do you fall, before or after iftar for exercise?
I've done both of them, so either or. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to find what works for you, right? To keep that balance if you want to keep that up, right? And of course, with food, when you've been starving your body all day, of course, from hydration and food, you have that food in front of you at iftar time. How are you going to be eating? That's also important. Some people will just gorge themselves after fasting all day, sleeping all day, or whatever the case may be, and then feel just disgusting after because they feel bloated and just packed it all in. That's not the point of this holy month, right? It is about that reflection, and we're depriving ourselves from what is halal to us as a form of discipline, right? To feel what the others who are less fortunate feel, and also to open up our hearts to charity. So this is a real opportunity for us to kind of reset that spirituality button throughout the year, to create healthy routines for ourselves and eat well, feed our souls as well as our bodies in a really good way. Some people will break their fast quickly with the basic stuff. Some cultures will break their fast with cheese, walnuts, soups, whatever the case may be. Go pray and then come back for the main meal. Some people will have their full iftar based on small things, and then later would have a whole meal. So it's really interesting how different cultures, different families, different people do it. And so it's being mindful when you're eating, like when you are breaking your fast, the beauty around mindfully focusing on what you put in your body and tasting it. It's the prophetic tradition of mindfully eating. I've been around friends and family the last few weeks, and some of us are just talking and laughing and just talking and eating at the same time. And then you notice the silence of some people who are focused, mindfully eating. So these are the beautiful things that we can learn from each other throughout this holy month in terms of balance, finding something that works for you with your work, school, and just your lifestyle. Hopefully improving your lifestyle. That's the key point.
Yes, in fact, even I'm someone who likes to really enjoy my meal like very mindfully. So I don't need any distractions around me. I want to have good time with my food. And I think that even Islamically, that's very important, because even Imam Ali alayhi salam says that, when you eat, don't get diverted, don't even stand up from the table. And, you have to chew at least 32 to 40 times. It's healthy for you. So, it shows us that, we need to give that good time when we're eating. Okay, so now let's
Absolutely.
come to the exciting bit, and that is that we're going to be asking quiz questions to the both of you. So this is
Okay.
how the layout is going to be. Okay, are you guys excited? So
Well,
the
some of the
layout is
questions are not
going to
too
be
hard.
no, no. In fact, it's Ramadan themed. All these questions are Ramadan themed, and since we are celebrating also the Wiladat of Imam Hassan, so we'll be having also Imam Hassan alayhi salam's lifestyle, life related questions. So this is how it's going to be. I'll be asking each of you a question, and you have to answer. And I'm tallying over here, okay? Just so
Oh,
that we can see who, yeah, who gets to answer most questions correct. Okay. So, for example, I'll start with Brother Ali Raza with the first question, and then I'll move on to you, Barak. Okay. So, as we are conversing, I'll be asking like two questions or two to three questions in between. In total, we have like you can say 20 questions. So I hope that we can cover it throughout in this episode. So,
so
are you ready?
let's go. Bismillah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Brother Umbrella, the first question for you is that how many surahs are there in the Holy Quran?
There are 114 surahs.
Very good, you got that right. Next
All right.
question for Sister Barak. Sister Barak, who was the ruler during Imam Hassan's time?
Muawiyah.
Wow, yeah, correct. So both of you got that right. 1 point. Okay.
All right.
Now
By the way,
the
what's the
second
prize? What's the
question.
prize? Whoever wins. Whoever wins,
The
what's the
prize
prize?
is the prize. The prize is something very special. I'll tell you in the end. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
whoever wins. Brother Ali, the next question for you is which angel is going to blow the horn on the day of judgment?
Angel Israfil.
Very good. Angel Israfil. That's correct. The next question goes for you, Bira. That what does the name Hassan mean?
It comes from the word good, goodness in Arabic.
Very good. Yes, it comes from the word goodness and also Hassan, beauty, Jamal and all of that. So yes, that's the correct answer. Very good. Okay, so both of you so far have scored good points. Let's see how it turns out to be towards the end, yeah? Now let's move
Inshallah.
on to so far you are safe, both of you. Now let's move
Yeah.
on to our let's get back to our mental health question for Sister Barak. The question is that why is it that people tend to change their nutrition and ways of eating, especially during this month? And how does this affect one's mental health?
Well, if you think about it, you're depriving your body from glucose, sugars, salt, sodium. And so throughout this time and a hydration, of course, so that changes the body. And within the next few days that I was reading about how it affects your body in terms of the levels of the sugars that go down and how the body starts burning fat. So it's fascinating. I encourage people to read more about it. But essentially, you're training your body to go into this phase where it's cleansing itself and removing toxicity, and so when you go through that fasting period, all of this is happening. How does this affect your mental health? Well, a lot of foods contribute to the wellness of your well-being, right? Balance of your mental health. So lots of, let's say, people who drop sugar levels could maybe feel a little bit loopy in terms of feeling lethargic, low energy, obviously, right? And it could affect our mood in terms of perhaps feeling happier or sad. And there's a lot around that. So I can't really answer the fully question here. Look at the Muslim Vibe um, newspaper, or not newspaper, but online on their website. We actually did an article on maintaining your mental health during Shahr Ramadan. There's lots of details in there. So I encourage you to check that out. There's lots of articles out there as well in terms of specifically nutrition, how it affects our physically as well. It affects us mentally, right? So you can check that out. But definitely we change our nutrition. I hope for the better during this month, just like how we're bettering our spirits and so on. We can better our nutrition. But you notice, like I said earlier, when we break our fast, there's a lot of foods that have sugar in it to kind of make up for the day. Like in the Arabic Middle Eastern culture, we always have liban, or the lightened yogurt, dour, and some cultures say that, right? Different cultures have that, and so there's lots of salt in there, mint, and that is a great hydrator as well, right? There's sweets that we can take, natural sweets, the dates, high in fiber, high in glucose energy, and it just pumps you up right away, kind of thing. Lentil soup in the Middle Eastern culture is a staple during Shahr Ramadan, where it's, again, lots of fiber and great for hydration, and it's great for the stomach. It's not upsetting to the stomach, right? Perhaps talking about food will make us hungry, but we have the discipline. We can handle it, right? So things like that. And then depending where you are in the world, some have 14 hours fasting, some have 17, 18, 19 hours fasting, and depending on the weather as well, the climate. So it's really important to be very conscious of what you put in your body during this time. Great fruits that are full with fluids, such as berries, watermelon, that's one of my favorites. Vegetables such as tomatoes and cucumbers, although some could argue that tomatoes are a fruit, but fruits and vegetables that have lots of hydration, really great. And avoid like fried food. Fried food, people tend to go nuts during Shahr Ramadan with fried food. I know in some countries, right? Those will make you more thirsty and feeling very lethargic. So we want to have lots of green and color, bright colors on our plates when we're fasting. And it's all about that moderation, which is what I'm learning from my trainer, Gains with Givenchy, where he said, don't limit yourself. When you're invited to someone's house and there's a beautiful spread, it's in moderation. It, like, taste everything, eat everything, but in moderation. And I do portion sizes and calories, and just watching those things. So being still mindful when you're eating. And the reason why we change is because, again, our body is deprived of certain things throughout the day, and it wants to make up for it at night. But it's so easy for the mind to kind of trick our stomachs, in terms of, because you say the eyes are bigger than the stomach, right? Is to be mindful of what you put in your body, so that you're not overdoing it. And all the beautiful hard work you've done throughout the day in terms of fasting and feeling kind of good and energetic to a degree can go to waste at night when you just put it all in and just don't feel good after. So truly, that mindfulness can go a long way here when we're looking at changing our diet and nutrition.
Yeah, that's, I think, one misconception that people have, that we need to starve ourselves and diet in such a way that don't eat this, don't eat that. It's actually about eating everything, but in a very mindful way, the way you said, in a balanced proportion. So please do not starve yourselves, because I know a lot of people who actually take this month of Ramadan as an excuse to diet and to starve themselves, and it's like a month to lose weight, but that's not how it's supposed to be. You're just getting exhausted, you're losing out that energy.
Sister Sakina, I've noticed also that when you play that role of the deprivation of food and hydration throughout the day, and you overload at night, what happens is the mind rather, sees that there's not food coming in. So when food comes in, it'll actually take whatever you put in and store it as fat, as a reserve, because it thinks it's going to be deprived of food. Whereas if you create that balance of healthy foods after the fasting, it's not going to go into that mode of taking it and storing it into fat, which is why exercise is still recommended throughout this whole month, to keep moving and getting the flow of the endorphins and hormones in your body, feel good after a good workout, but also so you don't feel so gross after, pardon me the lack of expression here. And I found, like, I've done walks with my friends in the middle of the night in beautiful weather, and that's been so refreshing and invigorating. And then we come back and have a good suhoor. So again, being mindful.
Very agree. Very much well said. I agree with you, Sister Bara. Thank you for sharing that. Now let us move on to today's celebration program, to the celebratory segment. Yeah. So I would like to request Brother Ali Riza to present a beautiful nasheed, so that we can, have a nice vibe on today's program. So let us welcome him with a salawat, and if you can start. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ala
All right, so today I prepared 2 different nasheeds in 2 different languages. One of them is Urdu, and the other one is Persian, Farsi.
Oh wow,
Right.
I'm so excited for the Urdu part. Let's hear it.
No
Yeah.
pressure, no pressure.
हम हुसैन वाले हैं, हम हुसैन वाले हैं, हम हुसैन वाले हैं, हम हुसैन वाले हैं, ये हमारी किस्मत है, हम हुसैन वाले हैं, 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 हम नबी क्या आशिक हैं, हम अली के दीवाने, हम नबी के आशिक हैं, हम अली के दीवाने, और हसन से निस्बत है, हम हुसैन वाले हैं, हम हुसैन वाले हैं, हम हुसैन वाले हैं, हम हुसैन वाले हैं, हम हुसैन वाले हैं.
اللهم صل على محمد.
What a beautiful recitation. I absolutely
Thank you.
loved it. It really touched my heart. Thank you so much, Brother Ali Riza.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now we will keep your Persian one for the coming bits, okay? So let's move on to our let's move on to the continuation of our quiz questions. So let's go for Sister Barak this time. Sister Barak, what do we learn from the story of how Imam Hassan alayhi salam acted with the man who was doing wudu incorrectly?
So there could be several lessons here, but I think essentially respect for the elders, teaching somebody something, or correcting somebody without putting them on the spot, making them feel embarrassed or awkward or ashamed. So there's so much beauty in that lesson, what the Imam was doing with his brother when they were doing the wudu in front of the elderly man.
Exactly. Yes, that's the correct answer. And this is a great lesson for all of us that, we should never misjudge some or, undermine them, underestimate them in the society. It's a great lesson for all of us. Thank you, Sister Barak. Next question is for Brother Ali Rida. Brother Ali Rida, Imam Hassan alayhi salam was poisoned by whom?
I know he was poisoned by his wife, but I don't know their name.
Oh, I was expecting that you would tell me her name as well. So I'm giving you a half point here. So her name was Jannah. Yeah, because you make the competition tough and challenging, right? So I'll give you a half point here. Yes, please go ahead, Barbara.
I want the point.
Yeah. No, but that's his question. I can't do that. That would be unfair. Oh, okay. But you can just tell the answers to the viewers.
Jada.
Jorda.
Her name is Jada.
Correct.
Jada.
Yes. Okay. Next question is for Barak. what is the meal called before the beginning of the fast?
You mean suhoor? Suhoor, sahri in different cultures. Suhoor, right?
Yes, it's
All right.
suhoor, yeah. It was just confusing. Yeah, I was like, think again. But yeah, you're right. Suhoor.
Yeah.
So you got that right. Okay.
All right.
Next question is for Brother Ali Rida. Where is Imam Al-Hasan alayhi salam buried?
Jannatul Baghi.
Very good. Yeah, you got that right. Okay, next question is for Vera. MashaAllah, you guys are doing so well. Looks like we're going to have a tie towards the end. I'm not sure, but let's see. The next question is, what is the celebration at the end of Ramadan called?
That's for me?
Yes, for you, Vera.
Eid al-Fitr.
Yes, correct. Eid al-Fitr. And Brother Ali Riza, what significant event took place in the last 10 days of Ramadan according to Islam?
So we were talking about Layali al-Ghadr. So the Quran was revealed.
Excellent. Yeah, you've answered that very accurately. You get a point there. Excellent. Okay, so far you guys are doing great.
Alhamdulillah.
We still have, of course, more questions, and inshallah we'll come to it. Now let's go on back to our next question related to mental health. And I think this is something very common. We see a lot of students who seem to struggle to juggle their studies and revision during this month. And, sometimes what happens, Barab, is that, we feel guilty, like as students, we feel guilty that, we're not doing enough in our ibadas. And, how should we balance it out? So this in turn also has an effect on our mental health, right?
Absolutely.
So what is your view on this?
So this is something I learned as a student as well when I felt FOMO, which is that feeling of missing out. When you want to go to the mosque, you want to take part in the celebrations, the shahada of the Imam, let's say, or the Layal al-Qadr, and let's say you have an exam the next day, or there's an important work meeting you just can't miss out, and you feel like you are going to be missing out. And I remember my mother, God bless her, telling me, your jihad and struggle as a student is a form of worship and ibadah that you get thawab for. Look at that huge reframe perspective change right there, that you feel like you're missing out on something and you want to be doing the normal ibadahs that we have during this holy month. Yet when you're told that you're studying is a form of ibadah, it's like, wow, so I'm going to put more juhud into this so I can get thawab for this and still do well and understand. So I find that instant reframe of not feeling guilty when looking at your studies as a form of ibadah can go a long way in helping you. So don't ever doubt that your hard work in your studies during this time is a form of ibadah, and you do get thawab for it, inshallah, dunya and akhirah. And so that can help your mentality, and then in essence, the way you feel about things, and just you won't feel as sad, or you won't feel as anxious or frustrated that you're missing out on this form of worship, or going to the mosque, or going to an iftar with friends and family. When you look at the fact that your studies and your efforts in there is also considered thawab. And sure enough, I learned this from my mother, but then learned this from scholars later on. That's in fact something that is in our faith. So alhamdulillah wa shukr for that.
Alhamdulillah. Brother Ali Riza, can you tell us a little about yourself? Like, are you a student? What are you studying something? Are you doing something?
I am studying in two different institutes right now. Studying in Carleton University, studying computer science in Carleton University in Canada, and studying music in Berklee College of Music in Boston, and working at the same time. So a lot of things
So a lot
happening at
of
the
things.
same
Yeah,
time.
that's the reason why I wanted to ask you this. I know you had mentioned this earlier in our previous episodes as well, but related to what Sister Barak mentioned, is that how do you manage? How do you juggle it all out? It's too much, mashallah. But then you even made time for today's episode. So, I really thank you for that as well. So, what is one key tip that you would like to share with everybody?
Well, it depends. It's people's brains work differently, and one's strategy might not work for another person. So for me as a person, I wasn't feeling very fulfilled just studying computer science and feeling that I was missing out on music, the other thing that I was very interested about. So I decided to decrease the workload on the computer side and added a little bit on the other side. So it's not that I've added more to what was already a lot. I decreased that a little bit and brought other aspects to keep that balance.
Very good. That's an excellent answer. I think we can all take lessons from that. Thank you so much. Now, I would request Brother Ali Riza to continue with his second nasheed for today. So, Bismillah. Let's recite the salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil.
All right. I just lost the lyrics. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. افتاده توتی دلم در پیچ و تاب موی تو، به جان فاطمه قسم من زنده‌ام به بوی تو. منم که نقش روی تو به لوح دل کشیدم، منم که وصف موی تو ز عاشقان شنیدم، منم که کوچه کوچه از پیت بسی دویدم، ولی تو را ندیدم که راز دل بیان کنم. یا صاحب الزمان الغوث الامان، یا صاحب الزمان الغوث الامان، یا صاحب الزمان الغوث الامان، یا صاحب الزمان الغوث الامان. رضای تو رضای حق، رضای حق رضای تو، چگونه من مدیحی ز صاحب الزمان کنم. یا صاحب الزمان الغوث الامان، یا صاحب الزمان الغوث الامان. منم که کول بار غم به دوش خسته بستم، منم که قید دوستی ز غیر تو گسستم، منم که نیمه های شب به خلوتی نشستم. بیا که بخت خویش را به قرعه امتحان کنم، بیا به کعبه تکیه زن که کعبه خود از آن توست، تو حجت زمانه ای حریم حق مکان توست. یا صاحب الزمان الغوث والأمان يا صاحب الزمان الغوث والأمان يا صاحب الزمان الغوث والأمان يا صاحب الزمان الغوث والأمان. Thank you.
Jazakallah,
MashaAllah.
jazakallah, mashallah, mashallah. You know how they say in Farsi, Agha Ali, khayli khub, mutshakir mamnoon. Did I say that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Mashallah. Yeah, mashallah. The words were really like, I can't understand much, but I could relate so much because it was so soulful, mashallah, the way you recited. Thank you so much.
Thank
Jazakallah
you.
khairan. Okay, now let us move on to, yes, Sister Baraf, you were saying something? Sorry.
I'm just saying Ma'juri and MashaAllah. That was beautiful.
Yes,
Khayli
definitely.
Ghashank.
Mm. Let us move on to our quiz questions. Yeah. So we've got a few more remaining. So let us continue them. Where did I stop? Did I stop with Brother Ali last, or was it Sister Barak? I'm not sure. Kind of forgot that. But let's just continue. I'll go with Sister
Yeah.
Barak. So the question is, Sister Barak, that does donating blood break a fast?
As far as I understand, no. It's when you get an injection of something that will break the fast, but taking blood out does not.
Correct answer. Donating blood is allowed. Very good. You get a point there. And then Brother Ali Rida, the next one for you is, for how many Ramadans did the Messenger of Allah, Prophet Muhammad, observe fast?
It will be less than 23 because it was 23 years there as prophethood, but I'm not sure when fasting was revealed, so I would go with less than 23.
We're looking for a number, a specific number here. So do you know that number? Less than 23 is right, but we want a specific number.
Might as well take a guess.
Okay, and if in case you can't answer, then you can just say I don't know. That's fine.
I don't know.
Okay, you lose a point there, but it's 9 years. Okay, the answer is 9 years.
Wow.
9
years.
You can.
Good thing I didn't take a guess.
What
would you have guessed?
2-digit number.
Were you going to guess? Were you going to guess that it's 9 years? If you were going to, then you should have said it. But it's fine, no problem.
No, I wasn't going to.
Okay. Next question is for Barak. So Barak,
Okay.
of course, you live in Canada and all of that. So Canada began hosting official iftar dinners in 2015. Which Canadian Prime Minister began this tradition?
What's his name? The conservative one, Stephen Harper, which is ironic given the fact that his party is not really very inclusive, you could say, or the word says it, they're conservative. So it's interesting that their party started it, given with how Islamophobia is here in Canada and in North America. The irony. Wow.
Wow, you got that right. Well done. I wasn't expecting, but mashallah, you got it right. So good job.
I've actually attended one of these iftars. I've actually attended one of these iftars a few years back. Yeah.
Really?
I remember.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
Mashallah. Nice. Okay, next question is for Brother Ali Rida. The Quran was sent to Prophet Muhammad through which angel?
This is so hard, I can't tell. Angel D and Gabriel.
It's so easy. Come on. You should be knowing.
No, I said it. Angel Gabriel.
He's being sarcastic.
Yes. That's nice. Come on, Ali Rida. Seriously, you know what? Next time, let's do something. You should be asking me questions, yeah? And then
Okay,
let's see
we'll
how
do
it
that.
goes.
Okay, we'll
Inshallah,
do
in the
that.
future. Yeah, that would be nice.
Inshallah.
So yes, you got that
All
right, Brother Ali. I had a feeling that I think he's bluffing or something. How is it that he doesn't know this one?
right.
Okay, next question is for Barak. Who was the only lady whose name is found in the Holy Quran?
Lady Maryam. Surat Maryam.
Yes, correct answer, Maryam. Next question is for
Alayhi
Brother
salam.
Ali Reza. In Arabic, the root of the word Ramadan, al-Ramad, means what?
It means intense, scorching heat.
Correct. Well done. Intense scorching heat. Sister Barak, during the festivities of Iftar, many delicacies are served and are often particular to specific countries. One such delicacy is the Palestinian treat, kunafa. And I'm sure that we all have it at our home, especially, the Arabs have it, so I'm sure you do. And what is kunafa actually made of is the question.
Okay, so do you want the step by step or?
Just
So
a simple
it's
answer.
made, yeah, it's made from a type of cheese as well as what's the component called? So there's different types of knafas, right? There's some made with what's it called? The vermicelli pasta,
Yes,
the very small
yes,
ones with cheese. And there's other ones made from semolina, if I'm not mistaken, and rosewater
yes.
sugary syrup that's put with it. In some cultures, they have an actual brioche bun with sesame seeds, and they put the actual knafa piece inside of this and toast it. It is so
Yeah.
calorie rich, very unhealthy, but very delicious. And when we talk about balance, I think I'm gonna go get some tonight.
I was just
Good
gonna say
stuff.
that mashallah sister Burma is such a good chef. Like I've seen some cooking skills of her on her Instagram story. And inshallah, next time, Sister Burma, I would want you to share some recipes with us because I really love your cooking. So I thought that
Well,
this
I love,
question would really do well for you. Yeah.
yeah. You know how Brother Ali's into music and art and how he expresses himself that way. I find when it comes to food, I become very passionate about it as I get very involved and engaged in the step by step. And it's such a beautiful process to what it starts off with and what it ends up with in terms of gone in 5 seconds while you've been preparing it for a long time, right? But I find I get the same intensity of excitement when it comes towards food as Brother Ali does towards his music. We've actually had discussions around that. I'm like, see, it's a piece of art. I don't think he appreciated food the same way until I made the comparison. I'm like, see, it's a piece of art just like music, but you eat it and it's
Yeah.
gone. Your music stays,
Thank you. Okay, next question. I think we have how many? Last 4 questions left, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, as in, yeah, 2 questions left for the both of you. So the next question is for Brother Ali. Brother Ali, popular in Pakistan and the Indian subcontinent, biryani is a dish based on what?
Biryani?
Yes, biryani. I'm
Is
sure
it
that
is it
the
rice?
Iranian must be having. Yes, yes, correct. It's right. Yes, got that right.
Don't forget the other stuff in there: potatoes, chicken, or meat, and spices. Lots
Yeah.
of delicious spices.
What's important is the
Saffron.
I
base.
love what I really
The
love
base.
about the Iranian dish is the chalo kebab and that saffron rice.
Mhm.
It's just a killer dish. I love it. Anytime. Miss it so much. Okay,
Well,
next
inshallah,
question
next time
for
you go to
Sister.
Iran for ziyarah.
Inshallah, why not? Yeah. Next question is for Sister Barak. How can Muslims compensate for a fast that has not been fulfilled in Ramadan?
Hmm. So this can go, as far as my understanding, for pregnant women, women on their cycle, and sick, elderly, et cetera, et cetera. So you got to make up the days. You have to pay
Okay.
kafara for it. And for those who have a condition, you don't make up the
Yes.
days for it, but you have to pay kafara and to feed a certain amount of people for the days that you're missing.
Yes, correct answer. Mashallah, you've got that right. Okay,
Alhamdulillah.
then the last question. So Barak, you've got all right. Let's see if Brother Ali Reza gets this last one right, and then we can make our decision for today. So Brother Ali Reza, your last question is that what is the meal after sunset called in Ramadan?
Iftar.
Why are you so shocked?
Salawat.
Or are you being sarcastic again with me?
You know, some of these
Of course,
questions
that
are
was
like extremely hard. I can't like. It's just.
I know the way it's probably narrated is a bit like one wants to confuse you, but yeah, you got that right. It's iftar. Okay, so
Alright.
we've come down to the end of our quiz questions. So, mashallah, both of you did very well, amazing. Of course, I can't deny the fact that Sister Barak stands out in today's competition. She's got all right, so she's the winner, obviously. And Brother Ali Raza, you just got one wrong, okay, literally. So that it was that close, and there was that one, the 0.5 one, but I'm not counting that. So it's just one that you've got wrong, but it's okay. The 9 years one. I'm not blaming you because that was a tough one. Sorry.
Thank you.
So congratulations to you, Barak, and I pray that on this beautiful day of Imam Hassan alayhi salam, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you with all the knowledge and ilm of the deen and the dunya and the akhirah. And what can I say? I will say welcome to my home. If anytime you visit
Inshallah.
Tanzania, I will host you at my place, inshallah. You're welcome,
God
most
bless
welcome.
you. Bring us down there,
Inshallah.
and we'll have some. What's that delicious khoja treat? Bendazi.
Yes,
Bendazi.
mandazi.
Yes. We'll have some
Mandazi with our
bendazi
chai and mishkaki and so much, yeah. Chicken.
on the
We've got
baraza,
like this nice
right?
chicken. Yeah, baraz as well.
On
Yeah,
the baraza
indeed.
outside.
So please,
Inshallah.
even Brother Ali Raza, you're welcome. If anytime you do come to travel to Tanzania, you're welcome at my place. Okay, inshallah. Let us
Inshallah.
end today's program with a lovely poem by Sister Barak in light of Imam Al-Hasan alayhi salam. Am I right?
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Let us begin. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil faraj.
Ramadan, like the 15th of Sha'ban, the first of the flowers of heaven, rooting itself to grow more of the 11, illuminating the house of Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, first grandson of our dear beloved, first son and child of the Amir and Amira, Ali and Fatima, first prince of this kind, the prince named of goodness. Only of such a love of pureness can this world ever witness. Al-Hasan, named only by him, glory be to him, glory be to the house of Muhammad and the Ummah. In his name, a ram slaughtered, given to the poor and fed, honored, wrapped in Gabriel's silken cloth, shaven his head and weight in silver as alms, light to a world living in darkness, one master of the youth of paradise growing up in the light. When the usurper was asked by the Romans questions of wisdom, no way he could pretend to such business. Ask Al-Hasan, he conceded, and to this our delight is completed. As one of the people of the cloak, to our delight, Ahl al-Kisa, proof of the event of Mubahala as sons of Islam's prophethood, Yani Bala Mujamala, playing on the Prophet's back while in prayer to Allah in haqq, not breaking his prayer in stride, for the love he has for his pride, teaching us the love of for our flowers, in this great display of patience and power, teaching elders with grace, Al-Hasan and Al-Hussein without disgrace, the right way of wudu, not shaming the wise old man by displays of the truth, humbling his heart, not hurting his pride. Valiant right hand of his father, into battles he fought with honor. They say he was not known for his strength, for how can any son of Ali not be an extension of his length? Given the name as the fifth, we know it to be the second. No, don't go playing with the heaven script. Is Al-Mujtaba not descended of the heavens? In kindness to man and wisdom to all, let's hear a few to sharpen our minds, and behold, what is the distance between the heaven and the earth? It is the cry of an oppressed person in dua, of course. What is the distance between right and wrong? It is the four fingers between the ears and the eyes. As to what you hear in the ears must be verified by the eyes. Which 10 things are harder than the other? Stone is hard, iron breaks the stone. Fire melts the iron, water extinguishes fire. The clouds carry water, the winds blow the clouds. An angel controls the winds. The angel of death overpowers the angel who controls the wind. Death overpowers the angel of death, and Allah overpowers death, as He is the living that does not die. Ya subhanallah. How can the heart not leap with faith after displays of such knowledge? The Romans, of course, were astonished and became people of faith, breaking their worldly bondage. So this our prince taught us, and never do we forget his epic. Just where others call it concession, we call it the ultimate sacrifice to ascension. A peace treaty of spilled blood rejection, an ummah's protection in the right direction to guide us with affection. And on this day, on the 15th of Ramadan, like the 15th of Sha'ban, begins the first of the flowers of heaven, rooting itself to grow more of the 11. To Al-Mahdi, the guided one, we await. With our hands over our heartache, we are blessed. On the birth of Muhammad's light, we invest. Our pledge again to attest that Muhammad is Rasulullah and Ali is Wali Allah. صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ali. MashaAllah, Sister Barak, that was such an amazing, excellent poem. I loved it. And how it was rhyming was so, MashaAllah, like, how did you even do it? MashaAllah, it was amazing. And every point was so well researched, you know, from the ahadith and everything. I really love how you incorporated everything. God bless you.
Bless you too.
Thank you for joining on today's program, Brother Ali Riza. I hope that you enjoyed the quiz questions with us today. Thank you for participating and taking your time out. Yes. And thanks, of course, to Sister Barak. Yes. Inshallah, we'll see you in another programs, inshallah. And Sister Barak will be catching up in the next episode, inshallah. Thank you so much, viewers, for tuning in today. And I hope that all of you really enjoyed today's episode. And do let us know how did you find today's episode as well. Thank you. I'll be bringing in, inshallah, another episode in the coming weeks, inshallah, in the Shahadat nights. So inshallah, I pray that all of our amals are accepted in this holy month. And stay blessed, all of you. Thank you so much. Jazakumullahu khairan. This is your host, Sakina Habib, signing off. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.